Hello there, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about my top 5 aircraft that I'm looking forward to most next year, 2023, in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I may end up doing a separate video for DCS. I would do one for IL2, but I'm not 100% sure what's on the roster for 2023. I can generally tell what's on the roster for 2023 for DCS, but I may wait a little bit because I understand that they are going to do kind of like a preview video. So let's get right into it. Number one. Number one and 1A is what we're going to say. Because 1 and 2 are interchangeable for me. First off is the Lancaster from Aeroplane Heaven. The Avro Lancaster obviously is a legendary British bomber used for the duration of World War II and a little after. It did have some post war usage, and then there was the evolution of this bomber as well into different models. So I know Airplane Heaven has had some rocky releases, but this is an aircraft that I am very, very much looking forward to because they're putting attention to detail in it down to the oil and the tires. So during the war, the tires on the Lancaster were just balled rubber like you see here. Modern tires have treads on them for safety reasons, but the oil from the engines would leak down, as you can see in the photograph here, leak down onto the smooth surface, and the flight engineers would actually have to wipe that off before the bomber took off. So that's pretty cool if they went to the lengths to model that. You can see they've got the bomb card here. They've got the proper fuel truck. They've got the pilot here. He looks pretty dope. One thing I will say about them that I have enjoyed, and they are still working. I mean, this is all work in progress, as you can see, obviously. So he's going to get more of a bomber crew appearance, but their modeling on their pilots and their aircraft is the best in the sim, in my opinion, for Warbirds. I really, really enjoy what they do, and I really look forward to seeing what all comes out of this beast. Number 1A. They're both ones who we're just going to quantify them as 1 and 2. This is the BF 109, the later model BF 109. This is from Flying Iron. Obviously, Flying Iron needs no introduction for me. They do some of the best warbirds in the sim. They've done the P-38, done the Spitfire Mark 9, they've done the Hellcat, and now you're going to have a BF 109 from them. This is, like I said, a later war model. It's not like an E4 or anything. So you're going to have this bird. It's a work in progress photo from them. I don't have like a series of photos, unfortunately, because this is still very work in progress compared to that Lancaster. This is some of the initial texturing work that they had done on it. And we'll see this in quarter 1. I suspect we'll see that Lancaster in quarter 1 as well. Number 3, the Just Flight Tornado. Now I understand that there's a couple of tornadoes coming into the sim, and actually we're going to talk about that a little bit. But Just Flight does some very, very highly modeled aircraft. They did the Hawk. I personally haven't flown the Hawk, but I do understand it's a very high fidelity model, and it's very, very well done. This is not my opinion because I haven't flown it. This is the opinion of a lot of the people in the fighter aircraft community in flight sim. And a lot of them are actual British military that have an opinion that it's very, very well modeled. So I have no doubt that they're going to do the same thing with this Tornado. You can see here this was close to June of this year, 2022. You can see it was already pretty far along in that development cycle. So I'd anticipate us possibly seeing this sometime in Q1 as well, although I cannot say for certainty. But based on the state of this, Q1 would probably be you got a couple of months there in Q1, right? You got 3, so probably Q1 for that. Number 4. This is kind of a loaded one. Right? India Fox Techo has quite a few aircraft coming for 2023. First of which is their Tornado. You can see here some very initial work on this thing. They've made their own model. Now, most of these aircraft, they've actually went and made their own models because they don't like the commercially available ones. And I can totally see that because I've checked those out too, and they suck. A lot of them. There's just a lot of discrepancies in there. So they've went with building their own. So they have the Tornado, the Eurofighter Typhoon, the A4 Skyhawk. This is the training variant TA4, two-seater. A Tomcat. Who can argue with the Tomcat? This is going to be the Tomcat family. It's going to be probably all the variants that were in existence from what they've said. And, well, that's back to the F-35, which is already out. But they don't have a photo of it, but they're working on an F-16A as well, which is very fascinating. Now, DC Designs have done some of these aircraft, but in my opinion, they're lacking. Not going to say that they're bad or terrible, but they're just lacking. The avionics systems in a lot of them are very much taken from the F-18 in the sim. The HUDs are very much too. I understand that there are some limitations in certain circumstances. Totally get that. But my bar for aircraft has been set by India Fox. The M346 is amazing. F-35 is amazing. The MB339 is amazing. So I have no doubt that everything that they release next year is going to be just as good. And I'm looking forward to all of those. So we'll just put India Fox in all of their modules at number 4. Number 5. I was kind of struggling here with number 5. And it kind of got bailed out. It's the Flight Replicas P40N. For those that aren't very well read up on the P40N, the P40N was the penultimate model of the P40 that was released during World War II. Obviously, there's other P40s besides this that are higher in letters designation, but none of them are production models. This was the penultimate production model, excuse me. So this is the fastest one in service, even faster than the Merlin powered one. This is an Allison powered with a 2-stage supercharger in it. And it was very, very good. A lot of people say that the P40 was a piece of junk, but a lot of people have watched a few too many TV shows with some of the old adages about it. P40 is a very capable fighter when used in the right circumstances and when used appropriately. So I'm looking forward to that. This would have been released this year. Like I said, it's kind of a cop out from me. It's supposed to have been released this year, but the developer unfortunately did not get some files for localization that he needed back from Microsoft slash Asobo. So he is currently waiting on those so he can release it. Now, the cool thing about this is, and the thing that makes me really excited about it. So, Any Builds released their P40F, which the cockpit is like none I've seen of an original cockpit. Now, I understand they did use Lee's Hope for the reference. So, I do know Lee's Hope is a restoration project that was restored. It was left in an island and found in, I believe, the 1970s and restored. So when you're using an aircraft like that, it's very, very likely that you're going to get some details wrong because they're not going to be using all the original parts. So this cockpit is very much what a P40 cockpit looks like. This is identical to Kermit Weeks's aircraft. Very easy to go look at his and see. I mean, he's got the original stuff in it that it should be. So this looks spot on to me. Everything in here is period correct. The details are right. Down to all the little levers and knobs and switches, everything is correct, the correct color. So yeah, that's my top 5 for Flight Sim in 2023. Leave a comment if you want to have a discussion about what you're looking forward to the most. I do understand, and I've seen DC Designs' list of things. I'll just say I'm not exactly hyped about a lot of them based on the last couple of modules that came out from them in 2022. But we'll see what they do in 2023 and see if they can turn a new leaf. But as for my top 5 here, thanks. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys can take some guidance, I guess, to see what's coming out in 2023 from this video. Thanks, guys.